Hey team, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you program your robot to actually utilize the built-in gyro sensor. Which remember, the gyro sensor measures the hub's yaw, pitch, and roll, which is essentially how much it is turning along each of the axes, right? X, Y, or Z. And this is the block we're going to be utilizing in order to do that. So quick recap. Really, we're just focusing on the yaw of the hub, how much it is turning, right, left or right along its z-axis, right? That is really the main reason we're utilizing this built-in sensor. So I already went to the software and I opened a new program called Gyro. You can just do this when you are working one of your assignments. You'll just title it whatever that assignment is. The first 3 blocks you ever have whenever you are starting a new code, you set your movement motors to whatever they're plugged into, set your speed, which you can certainly change as you go, and then a 1-second wait block. Once you have your motors set and your speed set, you really don't have to have these 2 blocks again unless you are changing your speed later on in your code, and we can certainly discuss that. So when you are trying to utilize your gyro sensor, right, you're going to grab this sensor that looks like the hub and it says pitch angle, and you're just going to change that to yaw. And then just like with every sensor, you're going to go to control, and you're going to use the wait until block. However, you're going to notice that it doesn't fit in like the other sensor blocks, right? It's a completely different shape, which I'm going to explain in a second. So in order to actually utilize this sensor, you have to use what is called an operator, which are these green blocks right here, right? Because not only are we measuring something, we're kind of setting a threshold about when it's going to do something, right? Because right now it's just saying the angle, so you're waiting until the angle has to do something, right? So typically you're going to use either greater than or less than, right? If the angle is greater than or if the angle is less than. That's what you're waiting until. So you drag in this yaw angle, and you're going to hover over top of your operator, and you see now how it highlights. Grab that. And then now you can grab this entire operator block with now the angle in, and then drag it into your wait until. So you're going to wait until the yaw angle is greater than, currently the default is 100, right? We can certainly change that. But in order to utilize this wait until block, you have to go to movement. And just like with the other sensors, we're just going to start moving. Now, you certainly could drag in this start moving block and choose whatever, say we're doing a right turn, and choose right turn and add this after. I would recommend you use this start moving and it's the default right 30. This is kind of like our move steering block. And the reason why I like this is because it's a steering wheel and it kind of helps me visualize, do I want to turn to the right or turn to the left, right? So say I'm sticking with the right. I'm going to drag my wait until block that I made, and right now it's set for 100. Right, that's the angle of the turn. It's not the degrees travel, it's like the angle of my turn. Say I want to do a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to stop moving, and then I can exit my program. Right? Now, I want you to test this because it is not necessarily going to be exactly 90. Right, you may have to change this number a little bit, experiment to figure out what works best for you. And I also wanted to point out, so right now, another reason why I like this move steering block, which just says start moving, I like it because if I go to the right, my number is positive. And when I'm using the sensor, I typically just have the number all the way either to the right or to the left. But if you look, if I move it to the left, my number is now negative 100. So when I return to the left, you have to use negative numbers. So we have to change our operator here. Because if we're turning to the left and it's going negative, our angle will never be 90. Right? Never, ever, ever will be 90. So we have to take this out, drag your yaw angle, and stick it into the less than block, and then drag this back into my wait until, and I have to make it negative 90. So if you turn to the left, set your number to negative. If you're turning to the right, it's got to be positive. All right, and again, it's not going to be perfectly 90. You're going to have to adjust that number a little bit because at the end of the day, while these are great, they are Legos. So you got to keep that in mind. All right, good luck. Hope that helps.